you?
Start. Hi.
Oh my God, your
I'm all
hair looks
right.
amazing.
Oh God. Like I was just in sunshine.
Oh, it's so good to see
Right.
you. How are you?
You too. I'm not bad.
Good, good. Are you at the gallery right now?
I am. Yes. Let me flip her around. Let's see.
Okay, take me on a tour.
There we go. Okay. So this is Colfax and Florence, which
Okay,
is just on the east side of like on the Aurora side.
yeah,
Come in the front door. There's parking in the back that's city parking, so it's free, which is really nice because
nice.
accessibility is really important.
Mhm.
And then, yeah,
Oh
so
wow.
this is one of the drawings. This is
Oh
a piece
man,
later.
that's
And
beautiful.
he did this in 2020. Oh, I realized there's a question mark on that.
Uh,
That's funny. Oops. There's my one typo. And then this is by one of my studio mates and their friend. So it's Teague McDaniel and Venture Murs. They did all these, what is it called? Dye sublimation printing.
oh
So
wow, that's all on
you
masks.
can, yeah, so it's a bunch of masks. So they're here, there's more, and they're here to be taken. And then these are all lines from a poem that Venture wrote.
That's so clever.
Um, kind of like a disjointed representation of how their long COVID manifests. And I'm having all
Hmm.
these troubles with these things like being too like stuck off the wall like that, and it's driving me nuts.
Oh no, it would me
But
too.
I brought my staple gun so I can fix it. Uh, so yeah.
Armed and ready.
And then this is going to be expanded, but this is Mass Block Denver's setup,
Nice.
which I have like a tablecloth. It's gonna look nicer. And then we're gonna have a bunch of resource posters and stuff for like CU Anschutz Clinic and hopefully National Jewish. And like the state of Colorado's COVID website stuff has a
Right.
bazillion links. So
I
yeah.
love that piece right there.
And these are some more, these are the first drawing I showed you was just a drawing that one of the artists had made in 2020. And then these are all illustrations based on stories or interviews.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Wow. That one,
Yeah.
I felt that one when I saw it
Yeah.
when in the drawings that you sent.
And then these are, I have little like excerpts from stories next to each one.
Nice.
And then those will be fully published on the website. And also, I'm hoping to get a booklet put together, printed, and
That's so
stuff.
nice.
So, yeah, just gotta wait on all the images back from the photographer because I had him document all of these
Yeah.
because we need to do that. Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
wow.
whole bunch of
Oh,
them.
that's
I think
amazing.
there's 10 in total
Mm.
for this particular exhibition.
I don't know how you even start to do something like this. That's
This
so
one has
cool.
so much
Yes.
in it. This is Danny Silmer. She said she knows who you are when she was here
Oh,
yesterday. She works with Max Block Denver.
okay, cool.
And this is another one. Gary, Colorado.
Yes. I love that one
And
too.
I don't know if you have heard Barbara Gould's story. She was featured on the news multiple times because she was the longest in Colorado at the time on ECMO and to survive. She was intubated for 65 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Her story's really intense. She ended up having to have a liver transplant.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and this is Emerson Morris, he's also got, this will work. Yeah. A website from his MFA, I think it was his master's degree, where he researched, compared COVID and HIV/AIDS within the carceral system in Missouri, which is
Wow.
where he was doing his master's at the time. And now he
Oh,
lives here in Colorado. So,
wow.
and then this is the illustration of the
Mm.
story. It was just like
So
one of
good.
those serendipitous things to where I was talking with him, interviewing him, and he was like, "Oh, I have this project I'd love to share." I'm like, "That's crazy because we are working with incarcerated artists to
I know, that's a
illustrate these stories." Like, what? And then
so
here
incredible.
are
Oh my god, I have a board.
you have
That's
a
so cool.
whole wall. And it wasn't as finicky to stick on as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, good.
But yeah.
Wow.
So, and this was all one, right? And then this was the one with your
Yeah,
son. Okay, cool.
thank
Your
you.
kid, I shouldn't assume.
Oh, yeah, son is
I
good.
think, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He's
we
gonna
got
flip
to,
out.
I love it.
He's gonna
I
flip
love it.
out. That episode was part of, last year I did a pre-holiday episode to try to help
Mm-hmm.
people, like, prepare
Prepare.
for the holidays,
Yeah.
um, and that was it had a few people in it, and he was just a really small segment where I was trying to I don't know, I felt so much guilt around not being able to do everything I wanted to do
Prepare.
for the holidays, and he was just like, "You are so much harder on yourself than you need to be."
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
"You're 7 and you see it." And well,
Okay. I just realized one of the poems fell down. That's supposed to go up there. I'm
uh,
gonna have to go around and make sure all this tape is sticking.
yeah,
It's like trying to find a tape that will stick to the wall long term and not peel off paint is just
right.
super fun.
Really hard.
So this is a illustration that Karen did about her story. She's working on one of the embroidered cross stitch blocks of this
Oh,
design. So
oh, wow. So that's beautiful. I saw it in the Google Drive that you sent.
yeah. And so she got into birding after she couldn't do hikes and runs and stuff. So it was a way for her to
Oh,
be outside.
yeah.
No, this is again this poem that fell down on the top and you put it back up. But this is a friend of ours, daughter Narwani, who was going who finished her degree at CSU and was going to go on to do a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and then got
Oh,
long COVID.
wow.
So
It's so
yeah,
unfair.
it is. It really is. Yeah, she did some drawings and then contributed some
Mm.
poems too.
How did you find everyone? Is it people you knew? Did you know them from stitching the situation? Like,
So some of them, like I put it out. I'm gonna flip back real quick. There are a few more things, so we can get to that in a second. Um, some of them are people that I knew, the poems I just showed you. That's a friend of ours. And then these ones back here, these paintings are a friend of mine.
mm,
And then Acacia's dress that's back here. She was in a show that I was part of as the Stitching the Situation project that was up in Loveland. And
yeah,
that was organized by Sally, whose
right.
sculptures are back here. I
Oh,
think you
wow.
talked to her.
Hmm.
Um, and then I put the call out through my networks of people and just like posted it online and sent it to all of the long COVID groups locally that I knew about because the grant was like scoped to Colorado. And so just asked people. And I had some Google forms and I think it was just a Google form that people could fill out or they could email me and we would set up a time to talk or they could email me like a document or, like I try to be as flexible as possible to um, meet and adapt to the abilities that are present in
Yeah.
time constraints and like um, try to be as inclusive as possible. So
Well,
yeah,
I appreciate it because I'm a mess. So,
we all are really. Let's be honest.
yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I have like just like detail things and like it's a point at which you get to some of it like it needs to happen, and then other things are just going to be finicky things that I'm just going to have to be like, and now I need to walk away.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you can exhaust yourself and drive yourself absolutely mad.
Oh yeah, and then it's just you're just like moving stuff around for it's not making anything better,
Right.
and you can actually make things worse. So yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you hurry. That's when I mess up.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I gave myself an extra day today to like do details and meet with you, which is
Yay!
fun.
Yay, it is
Yeah. And
fun.
then back in here is their theater, which I can, there's a show
Oh,
getting set up right
wow.
now. I think
So cool.
it's a teen production of, so,
Sweet.
yeah. And
So
then next week, I believe they have like a kids theater workshop. I don't know if there's a performance too. I can't remember. So there'll be like lots of people in the space, even though it's not open to the public. Like the building isn't just generally
mhm,
during the day because they just don't
yeah,
have staffing for that. But yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask is it's a community building and they use it for
Hmm.
stuff like that. So it could
Hmm.
really be anybody who's using that other part of the building, but
Yep.
mm, the exhibition is gonna be open
Hmm.
how often? Is it every day? People can just during a certain time or
So there's not like drop-in hours because, like I said, there's just not the staffing available. And so what we're doing is definitely like they have their first Friday art walk in Denver
yes.
and Aurora and like most other places. And so the People's Building is one of those. So we'll have it open from 5 to 7 this Friday, the 7th of November, and then the 5th of December as well.
Yep.
And we have tons of masks on hand,
Mhm.
like many. Like,
Yes.
please take some with you. So and also just like information, not only about the show, but about resources. Part of the reason why I wanted to have the resource wall up is because like I'm not able to be here and do
Right.
gallery hours, nor any of
Mm.
the other participants. So I wanted to make sure that the resources and information are there because almost everyone I have talked to about doing this show who isn't, part of it or whatever, is like, oh yeah, I know someone who has long COVID.
Yeah.
Or I know someone who has those symptoms. I wonder if
Or
they
I
have long
haven't
COVID.
been
I'm like,
yeah.
or I haven't been feeling well. You know
Yeah.
what I
I haven't
mean?
been
So I'm
right.
like, hey, there's all these
Yeah.
resources that you could look into, whether that's actually getting appointments at the clinic or just having some of the pamphlets and stuff to take with you to a provider. Um, there, like I said, I'm going to have I should add that to the iPad actually. The Colorado, I think it's on CDPHE. I can't remember. One of
Mm.
the websites under the
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor's office that has just
Yeah.
an exhaustive list of resources,
She's
which
done
is
a ton
great.
of work. And I was in the report. I don't remember if it was 2022 or
Mm-hmm.
2023. Um, but it felt so good to be able to contribute to that. But
Hmm.
she really has, like from the beginning.
Hmm.
Gonna be is it on the 7th or the 10th of
It's the
December?
10th of December is when the reception is. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And that
That's
one
gonna
they'll
be really
be
cool.
intentionally masks required
Yes,
because we're
required.
actually, reserving, renting the space, that kind of thing. So we can have more controls over that. So it's like one of those things to where um, most people accommodate it, if you
Yeah.
ask,
Yeah.
especially for like a short period of time or whatever. But it's also like we're in this time period where, the vast majority of society is not doing any mask precautions or even just COVID precautions in general. And so trying to find a happy medium to where we
Mhm.
can ensure that people who want to come see the show need accommodations can have those.
Yeah.
But then it's also available to the general public who wouldn't necessarily intend to
Yes.
come to a show without chronic illness. So
Right.
it kind of hits both sides of the coin in a way that's, I think, really great.
Yeah, it's very clever. It's very good.
But
I'm really
it's
excited
hard to
because we're
navigate that.
oh my god. It's so hard. Without yeah, it's so hard. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna come down for the reception,
Oh,
and I'm
awesome.
really excited because there are a lot of other people since that's the mask required night, they feel
Mhm.
safest to come, and I'm gonna get to meet friends that I haven't met yet who I have known for
Oh,
so
that's great.
long. Like
Yay.
Trina, who is, founder of COVID Safe Colorado.
Mhm.
We've been pacing buddies for over a year now. We have a daily spreadsheet that I didn't do today. Um, we have a shared Google Doc where we rate like our capacity for the day and
Mhm.
what we'd like to get done, like the one thing we'd really like to be able to do,
Mhm.
and offer each other encouragement. And we have a gratitude column, but we've been doing that since July 2024, but we have
Mhm.
never met in person and they live in
That's so
Aurora.
amazing.
So I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
love
When
it.
it hit that we were going to get to meet, it was like, oh my God, that's
See,
so
these are
cool.
like the extra little like bonus
Yeah.
things that I don't have any way to plan, but they just like
No.
you make the space and they happen sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's very
I have
exciting.
some other friends who are gonna come too, who aren't
Awesome.
long COVID people, but just are my people.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
super excited. I cannot tell you how cool you are and how cool this is. So stitching the situation is a 503C now? Am I right?
Yeah, the 50, yep.
That's hard work,
501c3.
Heather.
Yeah. I mean, it is and it isn't. Colorado makes it pretty easy to
Mm.
like the barrier or whatever, the red tape is pretty simple. I mean, they have like, especially since our budget is like annual budget is low.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say it's Colorado because 501c3 is a national federal thing. Anyway, they have like an easy form
Uh-huh.
that's very simple. It was more a matter of like if you do your taxes or if you've ever done your
Mhm.
taxes like yourself, you're like,
Yes.
what does that phrase actually mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we doing that thing? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So there's like, 10 questions or something. And a couple of them were like, I got to make sure that I fill this out right. But it was pretty easy because we'd already become like an actual organization, like an LLC.
Mhm.
So all of that work just kind of carried over and we just had to change some of the details of like what happens if it's no longer a 501c3? Where did the assets go? And like, boring details
Yeah.
like that. But you only have to have, I think it's 3 people on a board to
Oh,
officially
I didn't know
start,
that.
which I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense as to how people launder their money through it and avoid taxes.
100%. I didn't know it was only 3.
I'm pretty sure it's only 3 and you have to meet like once a year. I mean, like the bar for entry is really low. Like rich people are really smart
Wow.
in how to like hoard their money.
See, my brain just doesn't think that way.
Yeah. No.
The more
Yes.
you know. Do you wanna explain the background of stitching the situation for people who may not know?
Yeah. Yeah. So in March of 2020, when we were all like, what's happening? The world is shutting down, quote unquote. What does that mean? We were all freaking out and not sure what was going to happen. I, as an artist, had my studio at home at the time and just kind of looked around me and was like, what am I going to do with myself? The work that I do. Not that it doesn't make sense, but I just like, I couldn't do it. Because the work I make is usually dealing with current events. It just, the way it just didn't make sense in that time frame at that moment. And so what I did was I just looked around me and was like, what am I going to do with myself for at least the next 2 weeks when there's no
Yeah.
school and like we can't go anywhere and I'm going to go crazy. And at the same time, you just have this onslaught of news and numbers,
Yeah.
percentages and stats and like all this very abstract language. And so I was trying to figure out how to keep up to date on what was happening, but also make it not really more personal, but more relatable, I guess. Like more, what's the word? Like I was aware of what was going on, but it was really easy to just kind of like put it over there.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and so what I ended up doing was in my studio, I had this really long piece of fabrics called Ada cloth. It's a specific type of cloth that you use for cross stitching and needlework. And it's cool because it has little holes. Like I really like grids and like organizational systems on
Same.
grids. It's a whole thing.
Oh my god, my
And
whole childhood was, grid paper and
yeah.
designing houses and all of that stuff, and I started
Hmm.
cross stitching when I was 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So did I. I think I
Really?
looked like I got the first cross. I had my mom framed it and everything. I picked it up from their house when I was there early this fall. I'm pretty sure I was 8 because I was in my mind. I thought I was like 6. Like, oh,
Mm.
that's cute. No, I was 8.
Still cute.
But yeah, so it has like the holes already in it. So you don't have to like pick holes. You can just like make a little grid. It's like 8-bit design,
Yeah.
for computers, like very nostalgic in a way.
Mhm.
Especially for me, because I grew up in a house that was full of my mom's cross stitch and embroidery and like all her stuff. And so I had this really long piece of fabric and I'd never seen it in yardage. I'd only seen it like in a kit where it's like a
Yeah.
cute little piece of fabric. So this
Yeah.
was like 10 feet long by 3 feet wide. I was literally laying in bed, and this is often how things come to me, just like, what if I just stitch the data? Like not the numbers, but actually like If there's 10 cases in one day, I'll make 10 stitches. If there's
Mm.
100, I'll make 100. And then also the deaths at that point, it was March. So we'd already had, I don't remember how many specifically, but at least 100.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. And so probably more than that. And so I started in the corner and backdated it to the first known case at the time, which was on January 20th of 2020. That is not the
Mm.
reality.
Yeah.
That was just our understanding
Yeah.
at the time. And then by the time I caught up to I think it was like March 19th, I already could not keep up, like stitching one stitch per case and one stitch per death, because it was like in the thousands, right?
Yeah.
And I learned I can stitch, like if I basically do it quote unquote full time, like 6 to 8 hours a day, I can stitch like 1,000 to 2,000 stitches maybe.
Oh my God.
So as you can imagine, as things went on, it was like just impossible.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing was a lot of math. One of my kids is in geometry right now, and I'm like, this is very relatable.
Mhm.
And like filled in that panel of fabric based on how many stitches needed to represent the data for the day in a block. Either in those
Okay.
panels, it's not necessarily a square, it's like funky, because I was trying to cram it all into this one piece of fabric. And then, 2 weeks later, just kept going. It got worse.
Yeah.
And so I bought more fabric. I actually found a place in the United States that manufactures the specific type of cloth, because the only other places I could find it were like France and Germany. And like, who's going to do that in the middle of a global
No.
pandemic? Also, it was really expensive. And so this stuff came to me very quickly. I think it was in Chicago. And I cut it in half. So it's the same kind of width, but at the length. So basically, the first 6 months are on these 3 panels of fabric.
Okay.
And they're mostly unfilled outlines, and each outline is one day. And so as time went on, I was like, oh, I'll just, fill these in later. And then the pandemic didn't magically go away. And so let's see, trying to think, the first panel goes through like the middle of April. And on April 11th, my uncle had tested positive. And he was in a VA home at the time, and it just like ripped through their facility. This is
Yes.
before testing, and PPE was scarce, and like the protocols were very I don't know.
It was
The
awful.
VA homes were had a lot of problems. We'll put it that way.
Yes.
And I think if I remember correctly, like 30% of his facility ended up passing away.
Jeez.
And he was one of them. So at that point in time, it was like I was in the midst of, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep doing this? But then my uncle died, and I was like, well, how can I not?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
no one in our family was able to be with him.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We couldn't have a funeral, like none of
No.
it until
Yeah.
I think we had a memorial service like 2 years later when we could get
Yeah.
everyone together. And so knowing that was happening to many, many people all over the world just really hit home, obviously, but it made it real in another way, that just making the data physical added another layer to it. On the date that corresponds with April 11th, which is the day he tested positive, I stitched a portrait of him to honor his memory. And my aunts and some other family members at his memorial service added stitches onto those panels. I brought it with me.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we do, is we have community stitching sessions, which I'm working on finalizing dates for that with the library, which is, I don't think you can see it because the window is really bright. It's like basically diagonal that way across the
That's
street.
awesome.
In Aurora, to have a couple community stitching sessions during the exhibition. They just opened a brand new makerspace, which I'm very excited about.
Exciting. That's cool.
And so those 3 panels will get filled in over time through these stitching sessions where people gather around a table. And they started literally in my front yard in May, I believe, 2020, May or June. I can't remember.
Wow.
I'd have to look at like my camera reel
Yeah.
to know this actual date. But it was a great way for me and neighbors to get together and to talk and be at opposite ends, because like I said, it was 10 feet long.
Yeah.
So we could be socially distanced, and our
Mhm.
kids could be socially distanced outside
Yeah.
in the nice, a lot of weather, and talk about what was happening. And
Yeah.
have a little bit of community time. And the city of Boulder had a grant that funded buying supplies for that. That was really great. That funded other projects like people having informal concerts in their driveway or doing art
Oh,
drops around their neighborhoods and different ways
cool.
of bringing creativity and community during that time, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And they've basically continued that program and expanded it to be more like just general community building, which is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the summer of 2020, it was very clear that we were nowhere near the end,
Yeah.
quote unquote. Put a lot of things in quotes having to do with the pandemic and how it was portrayed.
Hmm. It still is.
Uh-huh. And so what ended up happening was through documenting my work on this, and as it changed and expanded and grew, people started asking me how they could participate and started comparing it to the AIDS quote, which was
Yeah.
kind of overwhelming and also
I bet.
really humbling because that was not at all what I set out to do. This was like, oh, how can I pass the time doing something that's at least meaningful to me
Yeah.
during these couple weeks that just
Great.
exploded. And so what I ended up doing was, because these panels are one piece of fabric, I can't easily cut them up. That would basically destroy it. I ended
Yeah.
up creating individual pieces and kits that I send all over the US and a few countries beyond that. People live there and have asked. And each of those kits is one day's data, and then people fill it in. And with some of these drawings, you saw too, they're blue in tone
Yeah.
or in hue. And
Mhm.
so the cases in the embroidered pieces are color coded. So the cases are coded blue and death counts are coded red. And these are all based on the reported data from the Johns Hopkins coronavirus
Okay.
database. So it's not comprehensive because no data set ever is. I learned a lot about data recording and
I
just the
bet.
humanity that goes into it. And I'm really excited for someday to have enough of these panels in a chronological order to where you can really see the ebb and flow of how things changed over time. And that's not
Yeah.
just the whatchamacallit, the waves of the pandemic, but actually the way data was reported made it look different
Oh,
because
interesting.
some offices only reported on one day a week or 2 days a week, and
Yeah.
other offices were reporting in a state by state because of our lovely country and our interesting system that we have. It just it varies
Yeah.
widely, so it makes the data look really weird, which also makes it really easy to misrepresent.
Mm.
So that's another part of the visualization of all this stuff, is talking about how data reporting impacts messaging and vice versa. Not that messaging impacts data, but how the data is read,
Right.
interpretation and communication, which is a huge part of my work in general. So it kind of
Mm.
showed up in ways that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Or if it's not
um,
collected at all.
yeah, or it's not collected at all. Or some people can't get to the doctor. Some people can't get a test.
Oh, no.
There's just so much. So that's part of the reason why I was really, as a project went on, committed to accessibility, because there's so many people whose stories aren't told, aren't highlighted, aren't known,
Yeah.
and some don't want to be. So being anonymous to contribute to this project is always an option. So I think it's really important that stories get told in a way that doesn't harm or threaten anyone's existence. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a really long-winded overview, but all these drawings and the contributions to this specific show will be translated into a pattern that can be stitched. So that's
You're so cool.
one of the
You are
accessible like uh extensions that we've done, is to make sure that folks who can't stitch, because it takes a lot of time, takes a
yeah.
lot of manual dexterity and visual acuity, so that eliminates a whole lot of people from being able to even participate in that part, can still contribute their story, their experience, or make a drawing.
You're
There's
so
software that can
cool.
translate
That's amazing. And I really appreciate it because I have tried to crochet again. I've tried to knit again. I've tried to
Mhm,
stitch again. And I think I knew I had a TBI, but I
mhm,
didn't know I had a
mhm,
TBI. And the focus that it requires, but then working with my
mhm.
eyes, my
Yeah.
hands, my brain, and my eyes, There's so much. It's just like with driving. You don't think about it. You
Mhm.
just do it. But there's so many individual little processes,
Yeah.
and it affected my vision, got the TBI, and I hate not being able to do it because I
Yeah.
love it. But
Yeah.
I also lost a lot of strength in my hands,
Hmm.
which goes along with the neurological impacts of it all, and I didn't
Hmm.
know. So that you're able to do that, to have other people stitch it, people's stories still get told is so important. It's just really great. You're doing cool stuff.
Thing. It's been really cool to have connections to friends who are like teaching art in crucial systems so we could bring in artists to illustrate these stories because the crucial system is another
Yes.
arena
Can you
in which COVID just like ripped through and, like,
yeah, how did that come about?
so I have a good friend, Sarah McKenzie. She's a painter and arts instructor, teacher. She's taught in many different settings and also part of a organization called Tilt West, where they do conversations about different topics involving the arts and more like umbrella. So it's a really wide perspective. She works with DU Prison Arts Initiative, which is a really wonderful, I don't know if it's called like an institution or what, but it's housed within Denver University. And they have a program doing research on creativity within carceral systems and how that helps with like rates of recidivism and, quote unquote rehabilitation, which
Mhm.
hasn't always hasn't I don't know if I'd even say always hasn't ever been prioritized, really,
Yeah.
at least in reality. So she has taught within carceral systems, she's taught painting and drawing. And like there's a theater program, there's all sorts of different things. And so her experience with that led her to start a nonprofit called Impact Arts.
Okay.
And Impact Arts does very similar things teaching within carceral systems. They do contract work with the carceral system. So it like changes because like they have to contract out. You have to, all the red tape of being able to get into a prison and work with these populations. And
Mm.
anyway, so she started a nonprofit to be able to do that a little bit more directly and not have it be tied specifically to research projects. Because when
Gotcha.
you do that kind of thing, it limits the scope of what you can do.
Of course.
And so she has had multiple exhibitions out in the world, outside of the carceral institutions. And I have seen many of them and been really impressed with not only the like clear artistic skill, but the way most of them were men of the ones that I had seen, they conveyed their stories and experiences through them very powerfully. And so when I started doing this illustration of stories in order to become part of the stitching project, um, I was having a hard time finding illustrators who could commit and like get things back to me on a kind of more of a time schedule, if you will. I
Yeah.
try to be very flexible with the project in general, but you know,
Yeah.
when it gets to drawing, it's not like the intense amount of time that embroidery takes. So when I saw one of these shows, I just kind of threw the idea at her. I was like, what if would these guys be able to participate in this project as illustrators? And she was like, oh my goodness. Yes, they would love that because they
Oh,
love any opportunity to interact with the outside world, to be able to use their artistic skill set in a way that's more than just like telling their own stories. Not that it's
yeah.
not important, but that
Of course.
contributes in a different way. And
Yeah.
that has been absolutely the case of the 5 gentlemen that I've worked with. That has, I mean, they've all been so eager and grateful and very responsive, very quick back, so generous with
Oh,
their time
yeah.
and working in some cases with like the only thing they can use is a pencil and paper, like not even an eraser,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
wow.
wild. And it's really sad. I'm like, I don't understand why an eraser wouldn't be allowed,
I
but
don't
okay,
either.
whatever. But a pencil would,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, so that has been a really beautiful experience. And the artists themselves have been really impacted by the stories because they have had family members that they've either lost or, they've known people in prison that haven't been able to get the care they need or
Yeah.
just been blown away by learning more about what this condition can do to people. So
That's an amazing project and just, yeah, kind of chokes you up. Such an
yeah.
amazing thing to get involved in. Thank you for explaining all of that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And like they themselves made the tie between like, we're stuck here in prison and here's these stories of people who are like stuck in bed or stuck at
Yeah.
home or
Yeah.
very limited in the spaces they feel safe or comfortable being in
Right.
and left behind and isolated and all that stuff, which are themes that come up a lot through these long
Yeah.
COVID stories too.
Completely. I have someone here. I'm going to take my headphones off. Ellis
Sure.
has come over. We've only got a couple left.
Oh, hey, bud.
But I was wondering, Ellis, this is my friend Heather. And you know the art show? Do you want to, can we show him the wall?
Yeah, I'll flip them around. Let me get my camera flipped. Okay.
My speaker.
So very nice and sunny right now.
There we are.
Yeah. So
All right.
there's all these walls set up.
You know the long COVID art show? And I told you your episode of the podcast is going to be featured.
Yeah. A lot of different work. I
So
didn't
there's
even show
all
you this
kinds.
corner very closely. I haven't finished setting up these pedestals yet. I just picked them up today. So, but yeah, boom.
That's your episode right there. I know you're in an art show. Isn't that the coolest? Hey, isn't that cool? And then I want to also shout out the other side is an episode I did with my friend Lior Ocean. And Lior is an
Oh, this
artist.
one, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from our episode. Lior is an artist and an intuitive and just like an all around amazing human. So
Get colors
who
you can
are
actually
on,
see how this works.
yeah, the wall with another amazing human. And so many people are going to get to see it. And we're going to go down there for like a reception, and the Lieutenant Governor of Colorado is going to be there.
Yeah.
But Heather has helped us a lot because mommy has a brain that has problems. But Heather, thank you so much
You are
for
so welcome. And I
all
can
your
tell you,
help.
like, I have a TBI too. So
You do.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
I'm even more in awe of you than I already was then.
Mine was, standing still at the bottom of a hill and getting clobbered by a snowboarder. So
Friend, I'm sorry.
I've had a few times where I've woken up in a hospital. I'm like, why am I here?
I don't understand. When am I?
Yeah, right. I
Mm.
always remembered my name, but I had no idea why I was there.
Oh, that's so scary.
It is. Yeah. But you adjust, you adapt, you do what you can.
Yeah. You learn. You live,
Yep.
you learn. The great words of Alanis Morissette.
Yes.
Thank you for
Amen.
doing all of this. Thank you
You're
for putting it together.
welcome.
Thank you for what you do. It means a lot. It really does. Are you excited? He's excited.
I'm excited to meet you.
Yay. All righty. Thank you for taking the time and showing
You're
us
so
around.
welcome. Yeah.
Appreciate it so much. Take care.
You take care.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.